Grace, who is soon turning 1 month, has been fighting for her life since birth. That's the reason she's surrounded by all these gadgets at the International Hospital Kampala, IHK. Fighting is all she has known in her 26 days on Earth. Another baby lies a few feet away from her, holding on to her life. 2 others born in the same month died. Coincidentally, all the 4 babies were born around the same time at Mulago Hospital. None of them is related to the other. What Grace and other babies are suffering from is a rare abnormality which afflicts between 15 and 20 babies born at Mulago Hospital each year, according to Dr. John Sekabira, a consultant pediatric surgeon at the National Referral Hospital.
It involves the oesophagus, that is the pipe which takes food from the mouth to the stomach, and the airway, which is called the trachea. So usually the oesophagus is not well formed, stops blindly in the chest, and also you have an abnormal connection between the oesophagus and the trachea.
Put simply by Dr. Yasser Abdallah, a pediatrician at IHK who has been tending to the babies at the ICU, the babies can't eat or drink anything.
They easily get malnourished. Sometimes they have other associated abnormalities. Fortunately, these ones did not have any other.
The other issue we have here, we don't have what we call total parental nutrition. So we can't feed these babies here in Uganda.
This has all the most important nutrients to ensure that babies can survive.
They put it through the vein, a big vein, and the babies can live on that. That's what all over is done all over the world.
These babies, when they're born, they do froth a lot. In fact, it's so easy for them to drown in their own saliva. So it's vital that they get intensive care as soon as possible.
When they are born, they cannot even swallow their saliva. And when the saliva sometimes goes into the airway and floods the lungs, and this can cause death.
Chances of survival stand at just 2%.
Even after adequate surgery, they could not make it because we lack equipment which can help these babies to breathe. And we don't have a dedicated neonatal intensive care unit in Mulago. And to compound matters, this condition is usually diagnosed late. And when these babies come late, they come with already a condition called pneumonia, that is infection of their lungs. And when it comes to a baby who is more than 1 week old, usually becomes very difficult to operate on such babies. And also, most of these abnormalities don't occur in isolation. Some of them can have abnormalities of the heart and also of the anus, that they don't have an opening.
It's a tough course, even for the health workers.
As doctors, to look at these babies just withering away, it's so heartbreaking. So we have tried previously in Mulago all sorts of innovations. Even sometimes after surgery, we sleep in turns in ICU to help these babies to breathe for them. But it is very difficult because hands cannot regulate the pressures which make this baby survive.
There's a time Dr. Sekabira and his team borrowed theatre machines to help the babies, but that wasn't sustainable because at one point the machines broke down. For the 2 babies now alive, Dr. Sekabira had to lose whatever pride he has and reach out to a private hospital, IHK, to ensure that they get to live.
And they waived also the fees for the surgery. They allowed us to work on these babies free of charge. And also they waive the fees for intensive care. As you know, intensive care all over the world is very expensive. And when it comes to babies, it's even more expensive.
Usually the biggest challenge is immediately after surgery. You don't want them to start breathing by themselves. You don't want them to be under pain. So you need them to be completely calm.
And the anesthesiologists, I should thank Dr. Janet Tumukunde and Dr. Mary Nabukenya. Not only the surgery is difficult, but even putting these babies to sleep and they go through the surgery is very demanding, technically demanding.
Constant monitoring has been done by the nurses.
And to note, these babies, we operated on them when they were already 2 weeks old.
After spending almost 10 days at IHK, the babies have been returned to Mulago for closer monitoring, but they are ready to be with their mothers.
Can it be detected early, during an ANC?
Of course, we can suspect that the mother might be carrying a child who has an abnormality on their intestines. That is the food, we call it the digestive system, all the way from the mouth up to the end opening. Usually these mothers have excessive fluid, we call it polyhydramnios. And when you get these mothers, and sometimes you can do an abdominal ultrasound and you don't see the gas bubble in the stomach.
But even when all this is seen, care can only be given after birth, so such a mother has to give birth in a hospital.
We usually advise midwives or obstetricians that when you see such a baby, or such a mother, it's better is referred to a tertiary hospital.
It's a spontaneous abnormality.
When they do have the abnormality of their digestive system, the mothers end up having excessive fluid because the baby will not be sucking on that fluid. And the majority of them are born with low birth weight. Rarely do you have babies above 2.5 kilograms.
The baby's condition has significantly improved.
One of them is already able to suckle on the breast. The other one is still not suckling very well, but tries, although gets tired very fast. Remember, they went through their chest, so they might be having a little bit of pain still from their chest. We're still giving them very little oxygen to support them as they're healing.
They're now back at the National Referral Hospital, but will soon be discharged and return home to their parents. Florence Salimba,